My name is Brian Frankham. I joined Balmain District Football Club with my son in the year about 2000, when he was 5. My daughter joined a couple of years later, and my youngest daughter joined about 10 years later. So I've been involved with the club since 2000, as a member of the executive since 2004. I first came on as the vice president. My major job at that time was trying to organise the yearbooks. So every year we used to have a yearbook that was published by the club. We would ask managers and coaches to write a little story about each of the teams that they managed, take a photograph, and we would publish it as the yearbook. When I first joined, there were maybe 130, 140 women players in the club. That dropped off dramatically at one point. I don't know why. A number of the mothers were playing, and then they didn't. Well, I guess as their kids stopped playing, they stopped playing, or they went to other clubs. So we went through a period of fairly substantial decline in the number of women's players. We've turned that around, and again we've got more women playing than ever before. And we've also got now an over 30s competition for women. And again, we're trying to promote mums playing. You know, their kids are playing, why shouldn't the mums play? The dads have been playing for years, and the over 35s and 45s. The last 5 or 6 years, I've been organising the Tiny Tigers teams. We have about 120 kids who play in the Tiny Tigers. They're 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds. Some 6-year-olds who don't feel confident enough to go up as yet. And we organise those, and during the season, every Sunday morning, 8 o'clock here, you see all these little kids turn up. It's just like my grandchildren, I feel. You know, they're beautiful little kids. And we've got pitch managers who look after them. And those dads and mums sometimes, continue to look after the kids all the way through their footy career, which is very pleasing to see. When I joined, I think it was about less than 1,000 members in the club, but we're now up to over 2,600, and we're up to about 204 teams. I remember being down here at Callum Park where we used to have the presentation days, and one of the guys that originally formed the club from the PCYC, which was our original home base, was telling us the story about how he formed. And he said when he first formed it in the early 70s, there were 3 soccer teams and 50 rugby league teams. And he said, if you look around now, rugby league in Balmain is struggling to survive. They might have 1 or 2 teams playing on Birchgrove Oval, and we've got over 200 teams in this area. We're the biggest community club in Australia, and we keep publicising that. We also publicise the fact that our vision is for participation and celebration of achievements at all levels. So it's a club that's not just focused on the elite athletes, but focused on participation. And the other, so I suppose to emphasise that, has been the advent of the all abilities football in Balmain, where a couple of parents who had some kids with disabilities formed a small group down at Birchgrove Oval on a Saturday morning. Kids with walkers, kids in frames, playing the game. We've got plenty of volunteers that look after them, and I think now there's 40 of those kids in that part of our club, and it's continuing to grow. They've actually got to the point now where they're having competitions around all Sydney, so it's really pleasing to see that opportunity open up for kids.